and former mayor of Miami-Dade. He is the first firefighter paramedic to serve in Congress representing parts of Miami-Dade and the Florida Keys. Congressman Gimenez joins us live now. Congressman, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox Weather.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I hope that you're doing well. You know, it's a big notable day. We do have a tropical depression in the Gulf of Mexico, and this could be the perfect practice run, right? You know, a tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico with minor impacts for the U.S., it promotes a very special opportunity to talk about hurricane preparation.
Right. Look, when hurricane season comes along, I mean, I was the mayor of Miami-Dade County, and we are pretty well. We know what hurricanes are all about, and so what we do and what we urge our residents is to have a plan. Number one, are you in an evacuation zone? And evacuation zones also depend on the strength of the storm and then what direction is coming in. But if you are in an evacuation zone, then where are you going to go if you're asked to evacuate? If you're going to remain in your home, then you need to have a plan of how to stay there, and you need to have supplies. You need to have at least 3 days of food, water, medicines, et cetera. If you are going to evacuate, where are you going to evacuate? Are you going to evacuate to a friend or to a family home, or are you going to go into a shelter? If you're going to go to a shelter and you have pets, you need to go to a pet-friendly shelter. So, you know, there's a lot of things you need to think about, but all of it is preparing for the storm now. Don't start making plans when a storm is about a day away.
That's definitely great advice. You know, you come from such a special background, being a first responder, being a firefighter, a paramedic. There's not too many people in Congress that have that experience under their belt. How are you going to use that to really benefit Florida?
Well, look, I mean, I have a different perspective. I think I'm the only member of Congress ever to be a career firefighter. There's been firefighters and paramedics that have served in Congress, but not career. Where I actually started as a firefighter, ended my career as a firefighter. Later on, I became a city manager of the city. Then I became the mayor of Miami-Dade County. And so all of that served me very well when these kind of events, you know, happened in our community, that background. And so what I bring to Congress is a different perspective. I bring Congress the perspective of a first responder, but also the mayor of a big city. And then again, not too many people in Congress have that kind of experience. So I haven't figured out what I want to do yet in life. And so Congress, again, is the next step.
Well, you know, looking at Florida, it's a very important conversation about, do we stay or do we go? And I do want to ask you about that, because so many times, and we saw it, you know, post Ian yet again, folks have said, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never not going to leave. But for some reason, they make the choice to stay. I think one of the tough things with Ian is that, you know, community, they're like, oh, I lived through Irma, I can do Ian. Talk about the importance of not comparing storms and really just being mindful about the conditions that are in the forecast and making the right decision for your family.
Well, look, listen, every storm is different. And so, you know, when somebody tells you to evacuate, when your authorities tell you to evacuate, it's because they understand the intensity of the storm and the direction where it's coming from. And those are two main factors of determining whether your area is going to be prone to storm surge. And storm surge is the #1 killer in a hurricane. So when your local authorities are telling you you have to evacuate, evacuate. Look, your property can be replaced. You cannot. And so again, you need to prepare. You need to have a plan. Where you're going to go, how soon you're going to get out, what's going to happen to your pets. If you're going to remain, and don't remain if they ask you to evacuate, you're running a risk. And why would you want to run a risk with your life and your family and your pets? It's not worth the effort. Go ahead and leave. If it passes over and nothing happened, great, nothing happened. But far too many people have made that decision to stay, and they regretted it in the end.
All important conversations that a lot of Americans need to be having right now. Congressman Carlos Gimenez, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you're